First of this season's hydrangeas have already started to bloom. We're going to be potting these hydrangea cuttings up, and what we're going to do is, before I pop them in the containers that they're going to be in, I want to go ahead and I want to give them a nice deep soak, because from the outside they look like they're perfectly hydrated, but the soil is actually dry. So one of the things that I like to do before I pot up my hydrangeas in containers, I like to make sure that the root ball is hydrated. That way I'm not tussling back and forth with the container. So we'll head out, we'll grab a watering can, and then from there we'll get started. Now, with these hydrangeas, like I was saying, they have been kept inside of a basin that I use to water the hydrangeas in. So they're used to getting bottom watering versus coming in and watering them over top. Now, you absolutely 100% can do that. But I like to make sure, especially when they're in the finishing stage, when I am propagating hydrangeas, I like to make sure that I keep them nice and moist. That way they can do what they need to do. But the soil's absolutely dry here. Look at that. At first glance, you can definitely see where the soil is dry. So this is a tray that I like to use. I also use the same trays for fertilization. So we're just going to take a little bit of water and we're just going to pour. So while they soak up, we recently started some lupine seeds from a winter sowing. So I do want to head out and check and see if any of my lupine seeds have germinated. Now, granted, typically when I'm doing the winter sowing method, depends on what type of seed that I'm using. Sometimes I will create a winter germination chamber. You don't have to do that. You can still use the traditional winter sowing method. It's just the way I like to do it. So let's head out and let's check on the lupine seeds. From first glance, I don't see anything, but let's pop inside and see. No action. And no action. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just leave the tops off for right now and we'll see what happens. So we'll just keep an eye on them and hopefully no birds come and steal my seedlings. The hydrangeas are well hydrated. The majority of the water has been soaked up here. And a lot of times when you know that your plant needs water, you pick it up, the container's light. But in this case, the container is now heavy. So they're perfect for using in a container now. And it'll help us with our success. It'll give us longevity with our blooms, because if you let your hydrangeas dry down, you're not going to get the show out of them that you were looking for. So that's why I really stress heavily on pre-hydration. I'm going to show you all the containers that we're going to be using. We're going to grab them together and it'll give you an insight to the vibe that I'm going for. So let's go snag those now. I have some stacks of terracotta pots here. So I want to use a pot like this, just a plain terracotta. But this terracotta pot right here does not have any type of patina on it. And I love that look, especially when it comes to hydrangeas in containers. I absolutely love the patina look. So what we'll do is we'll just set these off to the side here. And we'll use these two containers right here, because if we look at these, the detailing, let me get these out. You can certainly see the salts, the patina. They're absolutely amazing. And the container can accommodate the hydrangeas, but we'll get the pots. Look at that. And each container looks completely different. You can see the patina that's on it. Love it. We'll also be using some saucer for these containers as well, so let's snag those. I'm thinking that one of these saucers right here should work. Let's see. So we have our saucer. Yep, we can make that work. I think we can. So I have the containers. They are super duper gorgeous. And that's if you like a distressed terracotta pot. I absolutely love the look, but then I also love the look of fresh terracotta as well. It just depends on the vibe that I'm trying to set here. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead, we'll get some soil in these. Now, when I was trying to gauge if these were the right, yeah, see, the vibe that I'm going for, when you look at the rim around the terracotta pot here, this is what I'm wanting it to be. Just like this. It's going to give us like an extra detailing, if you will, here. So you see how when we have it just by itself, it looks good, but we put it in just like this and it absolutely looks amazing. Versus if we were to go with a larger saucer, let me show you how that will look really quick. Okay, so these saucers right here, this is the same size of the ones that I have, but these two are larger, so we'll take these back for demonstration purposes. These containers with this saucer right here, it gives us more of like a flare, if you will, at the bottom, and I don't want that. I want it to look like a continuous container, as if it's just like one piece, if you will. So we'll start potting up these hydrangeas here in these beautiful pots. I feel like it's going to be a beautiful look, very, very easy to recreate, and I'm super excited about it. With any of my containers that I do indoors and outdoors as well, I will go in with either a coffee filter and or I will use some type of window screen or some type of wire mesh just to go over the inside of the hole and to make sure that none of the soil leaches out of the bottom of the container here. So it doesn't take much. And when I tell you a little goes a long way, so you can buy window screen and it will last you for years. Now, if you do a lot of container gardening, as I do, you may have to replenish it. But if you're one of those ones who like to do container arrangements on a table or two, just, you know, something just to grace a table as your guests come in and so on, then I'm telling you, my friend, your window screen is going to be your best friend. I just like to I cut them in little squares. Sometimes they're oblong, just depending on how the inside of my container looks. And then from there, I just place them on the inside. Once I have it on the inside, I make sure I secure it over the top of the drain hole. And then from there, I come in, I place my soil over the top of my drain hole here. And in this case, I do have some soil that's already on the inside here. So I'll just make sure that I just pull that back, and then I'll take my window screen and we'll put it right over the drain hole just like that. When you garden, I would love to know, do you use gloves? Do you get your hands in the dirt? Drop down in the comment box. Let me know, like, which way do you go? We are going to use a little bit of soil in the bottom, and then from there we'll just fill in, because I feel like the size of the hydrangea container is going to be similar to the size of the terracotta pot here. I'm gonna add a little bit more dirt in the bottom. Okay, perfect. Now just use a smaller scooper to go around the sides here. I'm very pleased and excited with how these came out. It gave me the look that I was going for. I wanted that very much aged terracotta look with the classic look of the hydrangeas to complement the terracotta pots. I opted to use a Spanish moss, and I love the chartreuse color of it. And one of the things that I was looking for with that is that juxtaposition with the color of the green. I definitely wanted to use the Spanish moss as a mulch, if you will, because we all know with your hydrangeas are going to want to love water, but they're not going to want to be soppy moist. So that way, by us coming in doing a top dress with the Spanish moss, is going to lock the moisture in, and I absolutely love it. I also exaggerated the moss by having bits and frills hanging over the side of the containers here. But while all it has its own show, it adds to it. It kind of gives a sophisticated look, but it doesn't take away from the bloom of the hydrangeas. I'm certainly excited to share my first hydrangea blooms of the season with you. Drop down in the comment box. Let me know what you think about these beautiful hydrangeas. And I'm super duper excited to have them. And it's really making me just get ready for spring, because if my spring go the way that I got it planned out, baby, we're going to cut up over here on Garden Queen. So make sure you don't forget to hit that like button. Leave us a comment down in the comment section. Also, if you're not subscribed, don't be afraid. Subscribe to the channel. I see you coming back time after time, getting your ideas for your wonderful containers and just things that you do around your garden. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It is absolutely free. If you guys have been following along while we've been taking various hydrangea propagations, drop down in the comment box and let me know, where are your hydrangea propagations now? Did you put them into dormancy? Drop down in the comment box and let me know where your hydrangea propagations are now. How are they looking? I would certainly love to hear about it.